Jake had always dreaded the dentist. The mere thought of the sterile smell of the office, the sound of the drill, and the cold, clinical atmosphere made his stomach churn. But this time, he had no choice. The dull ache that had started in his molar a few weeks ago had grown into a persistent throb that he could no longer ignore. It was a sunny Tuesday morning when Jake finally mustered the courage to call Dr. Patel's office. Dr. Patel had been the family dentist for years, known for her gentle manner and reassuring smile. Still, Jake's palms were sweaty as he dialed the number. "Good morning, Dr. Patel's office," came the cheerful voice of the receptionist, Sarah. "Hi, this is Jake Thompson. I think I need to make an appointment. I've been having some tooth pain," Jake said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Of course, Jake. Let's see, we have an opening tomorrow at 10 a.m. Does that work for you?" Sarah asked. Jake hesitated for a moment, considering any possible excuse to delay. But the pain in his mouth was a constant reminder. Yes, tomorrow at 10 works. The next morning, Jake arrived at Dr. Patel's office a few minutes early. The waiting room was bright and inviting, with a tropical fish tank in one corner and a stack of magazines on the table. Despite the pleasant surroundings, Jake couldn't shake his nervousness. He filled out the necessary paperwork and handed it back to Sarah, who gave him an encouraging smile. "Dr. Patel will be with you shortly," she said. Jake sat down and picked up a magazine, flipping through the pages without really reading them. His mind wandered to the potential horrors that awaited him in the examination room. Would he need a filling? A root canal? The possibilities seemed endless and terrifying. "Jake Thompson," a voice called from the hallway. Jake looked up to see Dr. Patel herself standing there, her kind eyes peeking out from above her surgical mask. She was a petite woman with dark hair pulled back in a neat bun, and she exuded a calm confidence that put Jake slightly at ease. "Hi, Dr. Patel," he said, standing up and following her into the examination room. "Hi, Jake. It's good to see you. I hear you're having some tooth pain," she said as she gestured for him to sit in the dental chair. "Yes, it's been bothering me for a while now," Jake admitted, settling into the chair and feeling the familiar twinge of discomfort as he did so. "Well, let's take a look," Dr. Patel said, adjusting the overhead light and putting on a pair of gloves. "Open wide for me, please." Jake did as he was told, trying to ignore the fluttering in his stomach. Dr. Patel gently prodded his teeth and gums, her movements precise and deliberate. "I see the problem," she said after a few moments. "You have a cavity in your lower left molar. It's not too deep, but it does need to be filled before it gets worse." Jake's heart sank. He had been hoping for a quick fix, but a cavity meant drilling. He swallowed hard and nodded. "Okay, let's get it over with." Dr. Patel smiled reassuringly. I'll make sure you're comfortable the whole time. We'll start with a little local anesthetic to numb the area, so you won't feel any pain." Jake watched as Dr. Patel prepared a syringe, feeling a fresh wave of anxiety. She noticed his apprehension and paused. "You're doing great, Jake. Just a small pinch, and then it will be much easier," she said softly. Jake closed his eyes as Dr. Patel administered the anesthetic. True to her word, the pinch was quick and barely noticeable. After a few minutes, his cheek and gum started to feel numb. "Okay, we're ready to begin," Dr. Patel said, picking up the drill. "If you feel any discomfort, just raise your hand, and we'll stop immediately." Jake nodded, gripping the arms of the chair tightly. The sound of the drill filled the room, but to his surprise, it wasn't as bad as he had imagined. The numbness in his mouth dulled any sensation, and Dr. Patel worked quickly and efficiently. "All done," she said after what felt like an eternity to Jake but was only about 15 minutes. "You did great." Jake let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. He sat up slowly, feeling a bit disoriented from the numbness. Dr. Patel handed him a small mirror. "Take a look," she said. Jake examined his tooth, now sporting a shiny new filling. "Wow, it looks good," he said, feeling a sense of relief wash over him. "You did really well, Jake. Just make sure to brush and floss regularly, and come in for your checkups. If you have any more issues, don't hesitate to call," Dr. Patel advised. Jake thanked her and left the office, feeling lighter than he had in weeks. The sun was still shining, and the world seemed a little brighter now that his toothache was gone. As he walked to his car, he realized that visiting the dentist wasn't as terrifying as he had built it up to be in his mind. From that day forward, Jake made a promise to himself to take better care of his teeth and not to let fear keep him from the dentist's chair. After all, he had faced his fear and come out on the other side with a healthy smile. And that was something to be proud of.